Back, and this is TV3 New Day. It is time now for the big issue. Good morning to you. I hope you're well. I hope you slept well. I hope you woke up in high spirits. If not, not to worry. Just tune in. And of course, stay tuned into TV3 New Day as we give you some further information on what's happening across the country. And of course, give the platform to very important people as well to share their opinion on some of the major headlines in the country. And well, if you're also tuned in as well, just remember to send a message to someone to tune in as well. Or they can also watch us on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. You can send your messages directly while you're watching us live on Facebook. But remember, the hashtag is TV3 New Day. Find us also on X and on Instagram at TV3 Ghana. Now, DSTV channel 279, you can find us there. And while you're watching, you can also win some cool cash on cash outs. Be a Telecel subscriber or an MTN subscriber and just dial *439#. Pick your favorite platform, which is number 2, TV3, and enter the draw. It's as simple as that. But don't play just once. I always say increase your chances of winning by playing as many times as possible. It is very, very important. Today, we'll be looking at two very important issues. Of course, we're continuing the conversation on Galamsey and its effect on our water bodies and our forest areas. And there's a media coalition against illegal mining in the country. They've been working on this for the past number of years. In fact, now they are asking for a state of emergency to be declared on our water bodies and, of course, in our forest areas so we can properly address the effects of Galamsey and get rid of the evil-minded people who are destroying our environment. And so we'll be taking a look at that. There's also a very disturbing discovery that has been made, or revelation that has been made by some scientists who are supposed to collect samples from our river bodies and test. Now, they are saying that they're not even getting the chance to go to these river bodies because the Galamseyers have now barricaded the whole area, and they need to ask for permission from these Galamseyers before they can even get a sample from the river body. That's how bad the situation is right now. So we'll get into that. And also, the Speaker and Chief Justice have been excluded from the siren privileges in a new traffic law. And, parliaments will have none of that. They don't understand why these two key people in society should be prevented from using their sirens. And so that's what we'll be discussing. But in the studios this morning, we have Nanaya Chimpim-Jantwa. She is the former General Secretary for the CPP. Good morning to you, first of all. I hope you're well.
I'm well. You're looking great.
Thank you. You too. I'm loving the green. For the past 5 months, all I see is... Are you starting a new party?
The world is green.
The world is green, eh? Okay, so you're trying to talk about...
You have to be fresh and green.
Okay, I see. It suits you, though, because your pen is green, your book is green.
And, my phone case will be green. And my whole body will be green.
I see that. Is something happening that we should know?
No, green is nice. So, you know, that green has become very modern.
Yeah, indeed.
Before, it wasn't like that, but... and green too is in the CPP colors. So
I see that.
You decide to choose which one you want to complement.
But congratulations to your party. Finally, you have a flag bearer.
Yeah, we have a flag bearer.
I mean, why did it take so long?
Oh, we were going through processes and, a lot of court cases here and then. Now we settled everything and, God willing, we have a flag bearer.
Do you have enough time to sell this candidate to the rest of
the
Ghana?
candidate is already sold. You know, she used to be our former chairman. And, I mean, she's already sold. She's not... she's not new to the Ghanaian public. Okay. So it wouldn't be too much of work. I
see. Well, congrats to you. I see that lawyer, Nochi Frimpong, is not too happy, and he says that he's not going to congratulate someone who won unfairly. I don't know how you are resolving that internally as a party.
That is one of the things that happen during elections. I mean, it will be resolved because when the flag bearer was speaking, she spoke about unity. So, I mean, certainly... we are not going to, let this election divide us.
Definitely.
We are forging ahead as a group, as a team, to make sure that Ghana is better.
Well, congratulations to Nana Frimpomas Kamankuma. And she is the flag bearer for the CPP. And she says that they are going to break the zero. So for every polling station across the country where the CPP hitherto had scored 0, had not gotten any votes at all, she says she's going to ensure that they break that 0 curse and get as many votes as possible. So all the best to her, especially, and to the CPP. But also in the studios, we have Na Ache Niokwe. She's a communications team member for the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning.
Interesting name.
Yes. Proud
Na Ache Niokwe.
Yes, Na Ache Niokwe.
Oh, cry. I know. Good to see you in the studios.
Happy to be here.
First time that we're having you on the show.
First time, and I'm happy to be here. But I want to disagree, Nanaya, that Ghana is green and the world is green. Please, all our green lands are no more. We've lost them to Galamsey.
We've lost some.
We've lost, please.
We've lost some, not all. So easy.
So that is all that is left. It's just the
other
green.
parts of the world is green.
They
don't have Galamsey.
It's just the green in the flag that is left. But either way, so I'm happy to be here.
I see. We just did introduction. You're already fired. Also, and you see, you're not lucky because you are sandwiched by two people who are wearing green at this point.
But Ghana is not green.
You relax. We haven't started yet.
It is not green.
I'm sure my next guest will disagree with you as well. Ayila Apenjine Tabitha. I hope I didn't murder your name.
You butchered it.
I did, eh? Yeah. I'm so sorry. Please help me out.
It's fine. Aperine.
Aperine?
Yes.
It's GY, but it's still
There's a G. Yes, then Y. Apeg. So you divide it into two. Apeg, then yene.
Aperine.
Yes.
Oh, that's an interesting name. What does it mean and where is it from?
One that glorifies God.
Okay.
And it's a Guni name.
Guni?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
People normally call us Frafris, but it's not Frafra.
Upper East, isn't it?
Yeah.
Upper East.
Yes, Upper
Okay.
East.
I
It's a
see.
name from Upper East. Yeah, I mean, when you hear it,
I've never heard it. I actually like it. So,
it's a name
Tabitha,
from Upper East.
Apeyene Ayila.
Sure.
Interesting. You're
Tabitha
welcome.
Kumi.
I know, Tabitha Kum. Can we make it easier and call it Tabitha Kum at this point?
Oh, no problem.
It's a Bible verse with Tabitha.
Yes. Wake up.
Wake up.
Yes.
Little
yes,
girl,
yes.
wake up.
Yeah. Anyway, good to have you in the studios as well. I don't think I've
Thank
met
you.
you as well, so this will be officially the first time.
Sure.
But I hope you're well.
I'm doing very well.
Well, she's saying Ghana is not green at the moment. You're wearing green. Are you celebrating something, or you are trying to show the forest cover that we have in Ghana? Which is which? Or it's just a random choice?
It's a random choice.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's just a random choice.
I see. Anyway, well, thank you for joining us. And we'll have Susan Edu Amankwa join us soon. In fact, let me properly introduce Tabitha. She's a member of the NPP communications team. And then also, shortly, we will introduce Susan Edu Amankwa to you. She's a member for Alliance for Revolutionary Change. But just before we get into that, let me get into a quick story on what's happening. Or maybe I might as well just welcome her. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You look really nice as well.
Thank
so
you.
we have
So
quite a range of colors today.
Yes, so beautiful ladies.
Yes.
I mean,
So-
eye candy power on the TV.
Hey, I see that. Susan Edua Mankwa is a member of Alliance for Revolutionary Change. I hope you've had a good week so far.
Yes.
You're looking forward to today's conversation as well.
Definitely.
All right. Well, so we get into our conversation now. We're talking about Galamsey and its effects, on our river bodies and also in the forest reserves. Now, per what the Ghana Water Company is telling us, per their statements that they released over the weekend, now they're not able to produce 70% of the water anymore like they were doing in the past. Now, they can only produce 40% of the water that comes in. So they can only treat 40%, and that's what goes into the homes of various people who live within the central region and the western region. And that's very disturbing. If you listen to the CEO of the Ghana Water Company Limited, back in 2022, he said that at that time, 50% of the water they produced went to waste. 50% went to waste as a result of Galamsey. Now we're told that 70% or 60% of that water now goes to waste. So it looks as if every 2 years or so, we're losing about 10% of the water that we can treat. And that only tells you that reports indicating that we might have to import water by 2030 are actually true. And that's very disturbing. As if that's not enough, there's a group that's supposed to go to the river bodies almost every week or so to take samples from the river bodies in order to test and see how silted or poisoned the water is. Now, per what they are saying, they are not even getting the chance to even go and collect some samples from the river bodies anymore, and that's because the Galamseyers have now barricaded the water bodies. And so before you even get close to it, they'll ask you first of all with their security men what you're coming to do. You have to convince them that you're only there to collect samples. Otherwise, you'll not be allowed to go close to it. That's Dr. Bob Alpha. He's the acting executive director for Water Resources Commission. He's the one that's been speaking on this. Let's listen to him quickly. We'll come back and have a conversation on what the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources says he intends to do from today onwards.
Water in no time. I believe the 8-year estimate is even too long. Based on the information that I have.
Please share that information because that is key. People need to appreciate what we are dealing with.
It could be sooner, and I will explain that. we don't have to get to zero for the system of the water treatment to shut down. By the time we get to even 20, the systems will not even be able to take the 20 out of the abstraction of water that they probably will be getting from the rivers. So we are not going to get to zero before the system shuts down. You already mentioned some of the figures in terms of the turbidity values. This is very common across the southwestern area. You mentioned some of the areas. And the picture is very gloomy. It is frightening, in fact, to put it bluntly. I really hope, and like the previous panelist said, it is not just about hope, but we need to keep doing something to trigger the change that we all need. I can tell you, it has a cascading effect, not only on the water supply, but the economy of Ghana, the lives of people. And we have a small group of people who are making millions out of this. And to paraphrase what you put as regulators from taking data of the water to analyze.
I mean, is that happening to you?
Yes, of course. My men go to the ground. We measure turbidity values almost every week to see areas that were much better. What is the situation? But there are some specific areas that you can't even have access to. And
When you say don't have access to, what do you mean?
They have barriers, security posts, where you will have to show your credentials or the reason why you have to, access those areas. And sometimes we have to navigate our way to be able to get to the river and take samples. There are times we have to rely on satellite images. Using the color of the water, we are able to correlate and determine the values of the turbidities.
So that's Dr. Bob Alpha. He's the Acting Executive Director for Water Resources Commission. And thank you to Joy News. That's where we got this information from. He spoke to Evans Mensah on his show. And that's when he indicated that they have to show their credentials to the miners in order to get access. In fact, I mean, it's shocking. Erastus Asaridonko yesterday. So he also says that on the Tano River, no, on Cobra River, you find them mining in the middle of the river. And there's even one, according to the chiefs, he went to the chiefs and says he wants to buy a part of the river so that he can continue to mine there, because Ghanaians, now they feel a sense Chinese of ownership. Ghanaians. That's how bad it's
You want to buy the river?
Yes.
Hey, we are somewhere. We have gotten to some place. Bella, they want to buy the river.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have security. What kind of security?
Well, they have their own armed men.
Armed men?
Yes.
This is annoying. I mean, it is just unbelievable. Bella, let me say good morning to your viewers and good morning to my sisters. I can't even speak. God have mercy. They have armed men and they wouldn't allow the experts to take samples to see how bad the situation is. And they want to buy. And what is government doing? What is the minister doing? What are the institutions doing? We have laws in this country regarding mining. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Tell us seriously, why are we doing this to ourselves? Because when you talk right now, they tell you that, oh, you are being too emotional. But this is about Ghana. Around the Galamsey areas, they are giving birth to deformed children. Deformed animals. Dogs have double heads. Children are born without limbs. And we are not doing anything about it. Listen to what Mr. Alpha said. He said that even 2030 is too far away. Yeah. And it is closer than that. And 2030 is about 6 years from now. So if it is closer, then we are talking maybe next year, next 2 years. And we are not doing anything. You see, the Ghana Water Company said that they will lose 55% of the water that they process because of Galamsey. It will be left with 45%. Do you get me? But with this 45%, no matter how much chlorine you use, you might not be able to make the water wholesome for us to drink.
Yeah.
Because the chlorine itself, too much of it is dangerous to our body. Look at all these diseases that are around these days. We don't even know where they are coming from. The food that we eat, the water we use to cook these foods. And Bella, you see, I have heard the rhetoric so many times, it is annoying. Every government in their manifesto has a plan to deal with Galamsey. I saw a picture of the River Praia in 2016, and I saw it in June 2017. A vast difference. I mean, what kind of life is this one? Where are we taking the money to? Why are we doing this to our country, Ghana? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Bella, it is so disheartening. And when you see the pictures, even when you are going to Kumasi, on the way to Konongo, you see them doing it openly.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering that the people who are in government, don't they use these roads? Don't they pass these roads to go to Kumasi, to go to the northern region? Don't they drive on these roads anymore? Because as they are starting their campaigns, they are going to drive on the roads.
Yeah.
Don't they see it and they drive and pass by without doing anything about it? Now they have security men. So where are the military? Where is the police? Why can't we stop them?
The minister says they're going to review and also conduct a stakeholder engagement, and then they'll release the security men.
They are waiting to engagement.
He says as soon as possible, in fact, from today.
Stakeholder engagement for what? You have seen the thing going, you are now going to do stakeholder engagement before you release police. Have you heard this thing before? You have waited for this to be so alarming, this bad. You are now going to do stakeholder engagement. This is about our health, and our health systems. You see, when the pandemic starts, when we start getting the effects of this Galamsey, our health system cannot contain it. The director for communications for the MPP, Richard Ahiaba, we are all praying for him. He said on his Twitter page and on Ghana Web that what he has gone through as a patient in one of our major hospitals, he cannot even comprehend. Thank you. And that is the truth. And how is our health system a hospital where even lifts are not working? Pregnant women cannot get to the ward. They cannot get to the delivery room. How are we going to deal with the pandemic that will come out of Galamsey? And we have waited all this while. Bella, almost billions of dollars of illegal gold leave our shores every day. And you see, what even makes me angry and what even makes my blood boil is the fact that they always arrest these little boys who are working there. Because they are not the one responsible. Why have they left the big ones? Why have they left the key people, the kingpins who are in Galamsey? Bella, tell me, why have they left them? And arresting these little boys. They have no queue. They don't know who the people they are working for. They just need money to feed themselves. And also get a little gold to sell because they are unemployed.
But we've seen videos where they're saying that with the amount of money that they're earning now,
that is what I'm.
No other job will give them that kind of money. So they are not stopping Galamsey anytime soon. Should they also not be arrested?
But law. No, but my dear, if somebody doesn't go in with those machines, this is a champagne or whatever, it is being produced in Ghana, one. Number two, it is being imported, it's coming to our ports. Why are we allowing those machines to enter this country? Yes, it is used for legal small-scale mining, but can't there be another alternative for legal small-scale mining that cannot be used for these illegal ones? Is there no mechanism to find out that whoever is buying this machine is going to use it for legal or illegal? There should be a system. Because the people who are in authority or people who have some clout are benefiting from it. They are not doing anything about it. Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. It tells us everything. Me, I know Professor Frimpong Boateng very well. He was my chairman when I was at PRC. Between the period of 2006 to 2008. And he's a very straight person. To be very honest, I heard people insulting him, and I was wondering who are we dealing with. He's a hands-on person. So it's possible that when he started his committee and he noticed that this thing wasn't going anywhere, he decided to write his own report. I mean, truly. And he doesn't, I mean, he's a human being, yes. But Frimpong Boateng will not lie for any reason. If you know him personally.
The MPP does not agree with this then, because they're saying that the reason he released that report was just to settle personal scores.
What, between who and who?
Well, that's what they're saying.
No, I am saying that if you know Frimpong Boateng, then they don't know him. Then they don't know who he is. Me, I know him personally. It's not as if I'm saying it from somebody else. I work with Frimpong Boateng as my board chairman. And because of my position, I worked closely with all the board chairmen. Frimpong Boateng is a straight person. Yes, he's a human being. He might have his own issues, but he's a straight person. But I always told him that he was in the wrong party. He should have come to CPP. Because seriously, yes, because they never accepted him. That's why they will say that about him. An astute cardiothoracic surgeon, you are saying that he's... But
how do you say they never accepted him? The president made him the chairman of the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining.
And what happened?
If he was not accepted, they wouldn't have given him such a position.
But what happened? Politics, somebody can give you a position and leave you there to rot. What happened, my dear? When they gave him that position, what happened eventually? Was he able to exact his mandate? Was he able to do what he was supposed to do? He wasn't able to do it. So how did they accept him? I mean, truly, this is a very serious matter that we don't even have to bring politics into it. We should deal with it holistically. I think that maybe government should even be out of it. And let's find a body that will deal with it. A body from civil society, with the police, the army, the navy.
The same police and army that have been accused of also enabling Galamsey?
No, but it depends on who you send there and how you send the person there. If you send the person there and you give a command not to do anything, the person will be idle and will be in Galamsey.
Nana, you don't remember Operation Vanguard?
Oh.
Eventually, there were reports that came that the same military men and policemen who were sent to go and shut down these mining sites, illegal mining sites, ended up getting involved.
Bella, did you hear me? I said that when you send somebody on an operation, it depends on the command you give the person. Do you get me? There's always a command you give to somebody when they go on operation. It is different from what we all know. There are times that somebody goes on operation and you tell them that shoot on sight and you see danger. There are times that you are giving a command that do not shoot. So what command did they give to them? When you give a military person a command, they act. That is the military. They act. So what command did they give to them? A person died, what's his name? Major Mahama.
Major Mahama,
How long did it take for us to find out who killed Major Mahama? Do you get me? How long? So, Bella, if they went there to get involved in it, because the kind of command they were given. We were here when somebody said that when the military people come there, they should beat them up. But if the military is armed and they say that shoot, people will start running away. They will not be there anymore. Who is not afraid of the military?
Okay.
Do you get me? Yeah. So it depends on the command they gave to them. I believe that if people are the police, we should not underestimate the prowess of our police, our military, the Navy, and the Air Force. We should not. They are enabled and they are able and they can do it. But if you don't enable them to work, they'll go there idle and also start being in the fray.
All right. Let me bring Nacha in. I mean, we've heard from the Media Coalition Against Legal Mining, and they're asking for a state of emergency on our river bodies. What do you say?
Bella, good morning to your viewers and good morning to my sisters at the table. So, Bella, you see, whether the president declares a state of emergency or not, the state of emergency is upon us. I say this on the verdict of the images we've seen of our water and land resources in previous years and the health of our water and land resources today. And to add that, when President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia say that they don't care about the next election, but they care about the next generation, they lie, blatant lies. They only care about the next election, how the party will make money, party here sika. So it is never about the next generation. It is the same next generation that Nanaya is talking about are being given birth to deformed children or babies who have no hand in this Galamsey menace. are actually having to bear the brunt of the menace. Now, so you see, let us place our conversation in proper context and to say that the levels of pollution, the levels of destruction we are seeing today are unprecedented. And that one, I don't think that any well-meaning Ghanaian would debate this. It's unprecedented. And the earlier we condemn it, the better. And so to answer your question, whether or not government declares a state of emergency, the state of emergency is upon us. But you see, Bella, I'm sure that the NPP, led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, are terrorizing our lives. They are indulging in terrorist attacks on our very existence. Because you see, when you have video evidence, when you have reports coming from your own camp and not from the camp of the NDC, coming from your own camp and not from any other political party, that party apparatchiks have gathered, have planned and says that we are looking for viable concessions on which we can go and mine simply because party here sika, even at the peril of our lives. And then government can't be bothered. Leadership under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia say that we can't be bothered. In fact, Dr. Bawumia said we should endure the deformity. We should.
How is he saying that?
But he told us when he met the press that if he does all the things today, what would he do when he comes to power?
He said that in jest. And
in what is jest? Bella, this is a serious matter. You can't be jesty about this. Lives are at stake. Aquatic life, human life, forest life is at stake. And then you say this in jest. Is Ghana looking for a president who will joke in the face of crisis?
Hasn't former President John Dramani Mahama also passed, some funny comments as well?
Bella, we all pass funny comments. What I'm saying is that in the face of an emergency, in the face of crisis, you don't joke. You don't postpone the solution you claim to have. That is exactly my point.
Okay.
But then, Bella, you see, it is under the watch of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia that they passed the LI 2464 on the environmental protection regulation that gives the president the power to give written permission for mining, be it legal or illegal. Because you see, once you even say that it is legal, you are opening the floodgates for illegal mining to occur. And so if you give permission for people to mine in our forest reserves, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to the future generation you claim to be protecting? Is it not after this LI was passed that we heard reports of Akunta mining around the Tano forest, Tano River forest, and what have you?
And it's 2462, by the way, not 2464, just to correct you. LI
Thank you.
2462.
Thank you very much. Now, is it not after this that the president comes to clear Akunta mining and say that they are not mining anywhere? Which reports reached the president, when as against on 30th September 2022, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry issued a press release, and I'll share with you, cautioning Akunta mining to desist from mining in the forest. Is that not a contradiction to the president coming to clear Akunta mining? And of course, who owns Akunta mining? Chairman to me, because party here sika against the lives of unborn children. And you know what is even more heartbreaking? After the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia-led administration has given us poisoned food and water, and has given us all the kidney diseases in this world, when you go to Kolebu, the renal unit is non-functional. If this is not murder, if this is not wickedness, then I can't give a description to this.
But if that's the case, not to point accusing fingers, but the NDC has also been fingered and also been involved in Galamsey at this point.
Bella.
If you look at Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, he says it explicitly that the NDC are even more involved in the Galamsey than the NPP, per what he wrote.
Bella, granted...
So shouldn't we stop playing politics with this and look at how we can resolve the matter?
It is the more reason why I'm coming to this. Granted that what you are saying is true.
I'm not the one saying it. Professor Frimpong Boateng is the one saying it.
Granted that what Professor Frimpong Boateng has said is true. What is the NPP doing about it? Are they not in power? Who has tied the hands of the NPP from taking people on, from taking the so-called members of the NDC that they claim are involved to court? What prevents them? The fact is that they are even more involved in it. See, the kingpins of Galamsey cannot be trusted any day, any minute, to be the fighters against Galamsey. Because mind you, and I repeat, party here, Sika. Do you remember the former secretary of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Mr. Charles Bissiu, when Tiger PI fingered him in an expose that he's taking bribe to allow illegal mining to happen? What has happened today? Today, the NPP has promoted him to a parliamentary candidate.
He says he was cleared, and so
he was cleared. Bella, by who? Did you hear about Mr. Kousi and the conversation they had in that video? The likes of Mr. John Buedu, all these names came up. And what we are saying is that, see, if you claim that you are fighting Galamsey and you have put your job on the line, with the level of failure we are experiencing, you should have left this job now. And then I repeat, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did not put his presidency on the line, but like he put our lives on the line. Today, all of us at this table, our lives are at stake. Today, there is no water flowing through the taps. Even if water is flowing, dirty water that cannot be treated. Bella, if this is not wickedness, then I don't know what that is.
Okay.
But then you see...
Land for me so I can go to...
I'll land quickly.
Tabitha.
The same Professor Frimpong Boateng has said that all the confidence that he reposed in Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia to fight Galamsey, he has withdrawn. He has regretted ever reposing confidence in them to fight Galamsey. Because, Bella, you see, it is under their watch that excavators got missing. It is under their watch that we saw them burning excavators. A horror movie. Bella, what are we talking about? You burn people's excavators, some get missing, you see some, and according to Kennedy Akompre Japan, after seizing, you give it, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, they give it to their favorite to go and mine concessions because party here, Sika. See, Bella, if Ghanaians survive the dirty water, if we survive the distraction that Dr. Bawumia says he has the solution, but will not solve, if we survive till 7 December, we will ensure, with all the anger in us, that Dr. Bawumia would not survive another term or a term at the presidency.
Okay. Let me bring Tabitha in because we've heard from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. In fact, he says that Operation Halt, for example, is not a continuous thing. As and when there's a need to, that's when they dispatch, military personnel or security to go and arrest these people who are engaged in illegal mining. Question, however, is we've seen, in fact, if you pass along these bodies, and not too long ago, we broke a story about Konongo. If you're going towards Konongo, just by the road, there's illegal mining happening brazenly. When the EPA was questioned about it, they said as far as they're concerned, the people only came for a license to go and survey the area and not to mine. So they were not aware of it until they were told about it. This is something that happens by the roads. We see all these government officials traveling across the country, going to campaign. Are they saying that they have not seen these things happen? Chivo Praso, for example, you go there and you see the chamfangs parked on the water bodies. People brazenly and openly engaging in Galamsey. And yet we hear the minister who is now saying that they are going to ensure that all these people are arrested, they're going to release personnel. Why do we wait till it gets bad before we now get up and say we are addressing the issue?
Bella, thank you very much. Let me say a good morning to all listeners. Bella, this Galamsey issue is actually one that worries me a lot. Being a student of environmental science, I understand better what it means to have people mine illegally, especially where people are employing methods that are not advised. Because some of the chemicals that they use in mining, just as you indicated, that you find women giving birth to children without limbs and stuff. That is very true. Apart from that, it hinders their mental ability and stuff. That is very true. But you see, Bella, the issue of Galamsey is one that when we are addressing it, as much as possible, we should try to disassociate it from politics. I think that is the only way we can solve the issue of illegal mining and even practices, okay? Why am I saying so? She was able to point out instances where NPP people were neck deep in the activity. That's good. I can equally mention people from her side or the NDC that were doing the illegal galamsey. And just as you pointed out, Prof. Frimpong Boateng's report, and let me quote him, okay? There's a place where he said that the NDC in the Western region, what they did was that they allowed their own people to mine so that they can get money to sponsor their candidates and even illegal, what do you call them, independent candidates to contest against the NPP. Now, if you go back to history, before 2020 elections, look at the number of MPP MPs that we had, and look at what we are now having as at now. You ask yourself, what happened? Why did we lose over 35 seats? And the answer is simple. Because, yeah.
Okay, make your point. I'm listening.
Yeah, because of the kind of force, the kind of fight that the president put in during that time. Now, you go and read a report from Benepson. Benepson wrote something, I think somewhere 2022, on Modern Ghana, what do you call it, news, that the item that they did. He indicated that the MPP suffered or lost over 30 seats because they fought galamsey. And the people were not happy with the way MPP fought galamsey. And so we suffered it. So when the president said that he's going to put his presidency on the line, he didn't lie. He did it and we suffered the consequences.
Is that really the case? Because
no,
again, going back to the Professor Frimpong Boateng report, hold on. He had said that...
This one is not from Frimpong Boateng's
No, I'm just
report.
also bringing that in so that we can also have a very balanced conversation. Now, he said that, for example, a lot of, senior members within the NPP had taken over the galamsey in all these areas to the extent that now they were not even allowing people within the villages to go and cut warmer, and he put that in quote in his report, to even go and sell or to use to pound fufu. So these locals were upset with the NPP especially because they were not allowing them to go ahead and do the jobs that they were initially doing. And so if the NPP was going to lose the elections in any way, it's not because of the fight against illegal mining,
it was.
But rather
That's
because
why I said,
of the way they were being
Ben
treated,
Epson,
where some women were even being slapped.
Let me look for Ben Epson.
When they attempted to enter the forest.
Yeah, Ben Epson's report. I'm looking for Ben Epson's report. He wrote it. I'm not saying this from my own, what do you call it?
I'm not saying this from my own as well. I'm just giving you another angle where Professor Frimpong is saying that if you are going to lose it, it's because of how the people were treated in the areas where galamsey was taking place.
Frimpong Boateng's report. And I am basing it on Ben Epson's report. And we all know who Ben Epson is. So, Ben Epson said so. And
are you putting him up, higher than the professor
I'm not
who was the chairman
higher.
of the
I am only making available information that is out there concerning galamsey.
So are we going to consider the two?
No, we have
so
to,
that you admit to an extent that yes, maybe it's because of your fight against it, but also because of how the locals were treated, which angered them against the NPP?
Prof. Frimpong is a scientist and reported a scientific data. And we know who Ben Epson is. Ben Epson is a politician. And so the meaning or the data that Ben Epson will derive from whatever happened is going to be different from what the scientist will be looking at. A scientist seeing a data has a different interpretation from a politician. So I am making data available for people to appreciate it, both scientifically and also when you look at it in the political line.
Okay.
That is the point I'm trying to make here. Now, you see, she made mention of Mr. Bissiu, Charles Bissiu. We are all aware that he's no longer working. He was fired. When they realized that he was involved, they fired him. And she said he was promoted. He wasn't promoted. He is an individual who went and contested And his constituents thought that they could make him their PC. It is not the MPP that promoted him. These are constituents who have their own conscience and decided that they want him to be their parliamentary candidate.
But you have to win the delegates' votes first, the primaries, to represent the party. It's the delegates within the party who select who should represent them as a parliamentary candidate.
The delegates are individuals.
Are they not party members?
They are human beings.
Yes,
first.
but are they not party members?
They are party members.
Okay.
But they are human beings first. Okay? Now, you see, in as much as we are trying to say that MPP did this, NDC did this, one thing I need you to understand is that when it comes to fighting illegal mining, the NDC doesn't even have any track record to base their ability to fight illegal mining. And that one, she should know. Because I have video of Mahama publicly telling voters during campaign that if they vote for him and he becomes the president of Ghana, that was 2020 elections, he will ensure that all those that were arrested because of illegal mining, he is going to give them amnesty.
Did you watch the whole video?
I'm coming.
Did you watch? I'm just asking.
No.
Did you watch the whole video?
I'm coming.
Where he started from Aisha 1 and the likes of all the top people.
I'm coming.
Who were rather left to go scot-free, and it was rather the younger ones who were being arrested and made to pay for illegal mining.
No, but were they guilty of the crime or not?
But if we're arresting them,
No.
hold on,
So you
hold
see,
on. Have you watched the full video, by the way?
I didn't watch the full video.
So then you can't base your judgment on just a part of the video.
The part
because
that
if you
I
watch
heard,
the full video, I'm not justifying anybody who's engaged in illegal mining. But the concern then is, many of us are aware, in fact, your party, and that report also states the names of people within the presidency who are engaged in illegal mining. And none of them have been arrested. The Chinese people are arrested and they are deported. Per the law, they are supposed to serve their term here if they are found guilty before they are deported. In most cases, they are deported. Yet, the young ones who are looking for jobs in the country are the ones who are arrested and left to languish in jail. That's the concern that many people have.
Are you saying that?
And so the question, that's why I'm asking if you watched the full video.
I didn't watch the full video.
If you're going to castigate him, and I'm not speaking for him,
who were incarcerated were not guilty of the crime.
That's why I'm saying that I'm not speaking for anybody engaged.
Yes,
but if we're arresting these young people, why are we not arresting the main people, the ones who are bringing in the excavators, the ones who own these mining concessions?
Bella, let's try to appreciate something here. Whether some people were left to go back to their hometowns or not, the question is, the people that he said he will be given amnesty to, were they guilty of the crime?
What about the ones who are the ones bringing in the excavators?
Please,
the ones who own these mining concessions? No.
No, because you see,
I have told you.
We are building on something.
I have told you that I don't side with anybody who engages in galamsey. Are you listening? Hold on, Tabitha, I'll let you speak, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm saying emphatically that I don't support anybody who engages in galamsey, because now we're seeing that we're getting poisoned. But the former president is saying that if you are not arresting the main brains behind galamsey, and yet you go to these sites and pick up these young men who by no fault of theirs, for some reason, are engaged in galamsey, and you close your eyes to the big men at the presidency who are the ones bringing in these excavators, owning these mining concessions,
how many
who are taking out the gold.
The presidency
then how are you fighting
were cited? How many of them?
How many?
Yeah.
So, of course, we've heard about Akunta mining.
Yes.
We've heard about Akunta mining. Even this morning, there's a report from the 4th Estate. Still listing Akunta mining as mining in the tunnel, the Ibrahim River. And yet they did not even have the license for that. They are still doing it. The president came out and said he does not believe they're engaged in illegal mining. That alone is bad enough, because we don't have any report indicating that they are not guilty of what they are being accused of. So yet the president has cleared him.
Bella, you see, the issue here is this. That is why I made it clear that the issue of galamsey is one that we do not have to paint party colors. That is why I initially wanted us to appreciate some details. That even if you have a whole candidate who wants to be president, say some of these things, what are you telling the electorate? That is the point I'm trying to make here. And another point I want to make clear here is that, you see, you cannot fight something that the people want. That is another issue we are ignoring. The people that are involved in galamsey, the people that galamsey put food on their table, I can tell you for a fact that counts into 1 million or plus people, which serves as a source of, livelihood to them. Now the question is, What do we do? That is why, if you look at what we did earlier, just as I indicated, we brought Operation Vanguard, we brought Operation Halt, we brought a temporal ban on the importation of excavators. Because see, if you are going to trace the history of excavators, we realize that it is the excavators that is causing a lot of harm.
Who's bringing them in?
Now listen, I saw a report, and according to the report...
And land on this so that I can bring Susan.
I'll land on this.
Spoken for long.
I saw a report, and according to the report, excavators were introduced into the Ghanaian mining activities from 2010. And we all know 2010, who was president? Which party was in power?
I thought you said we shouldn't paint any political colors on this one.
But
you seem to be going back to that.
I didn't paint anybody. I just said
2010, we know who was in power.
Yes.
That's also being political.
Just to make it clear.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. Because it's the excavators that is causing a lot of damage to our water bodies. And so, the government, when Akufo-Addo came, he said, look, I'm going to put a ban on the importation of what? Excavators. 2, I am going to make sure that those that have acquired license and are doing it legally, I'm going to put trackers in them to track their activities. All these measures were taken, and still we are not seeing the results we all want. That is why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying that when he becomes president, what he is going to do is that, 1, he is going to ensure that he doesn't make it difficult for people to secure proper license. 1.
Why can't we do it now?
No.
Why can't he advise the president to do it now? Is the president not seeing the state of our water body?
This now. You know,
we are dying now. You want us to wait till after election?
You see, Bella,
I know, I'm moving on, but I just wanted to respond to this.
Now, we all know that it doesn't just happen that way.
How?
Since when did we get this issue come up again?
This issue has been raging on for years.
That's why I say, so they stop and go back, stop and go back.
So now let's implement these measures.
Yes, that is why you indicated that they are going to have a meeting.
That's the minister. That's not the vice president.
Yes.
The vice president says when he comes. So that's a 2025
I am telling you our
plan.
manifesto, what the vice president has to do, or the plans he has for Ghanaians. Let me use this opportunity to just postulate 2. Please.
No, you've spoken for long.
No,
it's okay. I'll let you come back.
You were asking a lot of questions.
I'm sorry, but I needed to borrow into the things you were saying, because we expect that if the vice president has any plans for us, now is a cry for help. The Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining is saying that declare a state of emergency. So if you have any plans, implement them now. Don't tell us to vote for you before you implement them in the nearest possible future or wherever. Susan.
Bella, you know, I wrote things nicely, but this, you know, what makes us sick in this country, and people have switched off, is the equalization in the face of our collective suffering and destruction. You understand? And it's you know, we say don't politicize it, and then all of a sudden, then in the next minute we are politicizing it. Whatever it is a political issue. Because if you look at everybody's manifestos, they have nice things saying. Why hasn't the war even advanced where it should be? It's because of a lack of political will. Basic. Look, this Galamsey issue is a result of failed leadership and an incompetent state able to protect its vulnerable people. Simple. And who has raised their hands to say they want to be in government to lead us? And we have given them the mandate to lead us and failed us. It's both NDC and NPP. And so they should stop this race to the bottom. You know, I always say this. The pass mark is 50. Somebody gets 30. Somebody gets 31. And then you are arguing that who has done better than who. When you have both failed us. You understand? It's sickening. It's pathetic. I mean, when you hear an MP, a leader in parliament say that you dirtied the water more than we dirtied it, or you polluted the water more, then you see how low our politics has gotten. For his information, we can measure, turbidity is being measured. We could see the turbidity in the NDC time and see the turbidity now. Look, the gentleman was saying, that the scientist was saying, that turbidity levels, I was reading it, for drinking water is between 0.5 and 1 NTU. Right now, our turbidity levels are 14,000. Can you imagine? And we sit here and want to do MPP do this, NDC do this. Seriously? Look, as for the things in the manifesto, I've already said, we have to change tactics. Tactics is what is needed. You have been doing these things forever and you are not getting the results, then you know that you are the MPP comes to tell us that their party winning elections is more is paramount than the lives of us when they tell us that because they were fighting against Galamsey, we voted against them, or the people in those places voted against them. So, you know, every party does a review after 4 years.
Yeah.
So when they did that review, they decided that, okay, we lost in those places. And because we lost in those places, now the fight on Galamsey is going to go in the back burner because our party ambition to be in power is greater. Because that's what she's telling us. And that's what you hear them say. We lost power in those places when we started fighting against Galamsey. So what did you do? Instead of continue, you relaxed because our collective importance, our collective health is not important to you. It is your winning power. We have to get rid of them. And there's no question about it. People who can put their party interest in the face of life and death and say that because we lost power there, you continue. What you do is you don't halt and come back, you don't halt and come back. It is a continuous thing. Look, there are people, the young men there, who need jobs. But they are the greedy people who force these issues to go. Galamsey is not new. I did some work in Galamsey many years ago, in 2000. Galamsey, when it started, it was gather and sell. What would happen was that the miners, the small miners, would go and take the load from the big mining because they are unable to extract the fine, very well. So they could use other smaller means to get gold from the tailings from the big companies. That's how it started. And of course, as the economic depression of our countries became worse and worse with successive governments, the miners began to do these things. The laws are there. The thing about training them to do better, about forming cooperatives and things to have already been there. Like I said, it is the lack of political will. And of course, now we have political parties who are being financed by these miners. What we need to do, you see, in our fight against Galamsey, we should also look at political party funding. It's one thing to look at. Political party funding. Who are funding these parties? And and where is the money coming from? And we should be able to take decisions on that and vote against these parties. You know, this is our lives we are talking about. Look, I want to see how those MPs in those areas, what they have done in the fight against Galamsey. The MPs there, that should determine whether we should vote for them again or not. Everybody should come in on their record as an MP in the Galamsey area, say, this is what I've been doing, and this is how I've sustained it. It won't surprise me that they are part of it and getting money from it. So their actions are lackadaisical and laid back.
The Speaker of Parliament mentioned that some of them are taking money, and so the people they're even speaking to are aware that they're involved. Some of these MPs are involved.
And it will not surprise me. People will take money from anywhere. We are going to become a state where we are ruled by criminals because they have money. Criminals will fund politicians, and politicians will be in place and do the bidding of criminals. That is where we are getting to. And then our collective lives will be there. Look, anybody who thinks that they have money so they will import water to drink, they are lying. Either they will not eat plantain in this country, they will not eat bananas, they will not eat any food from this country. They should import their food also and eat everything from outside. Because if you don't drink the water, you may find it in some plants or some fruit or whatever. You understand? And it may not be you. You should remember that it's not you and just your immediate family. And you have loved people outside your immediate family that you are buying imported water for. I think that Ghanaians, we should set up and reject these two parties. They have failed us. It is about time we take a different direction.
Which is what?
Which is an independent candidate who will come and take the best brains. I have said over and over again, inherent in some of the attitudes of the political parties, in they are unable to act, and inherent in the corruption in this country lies in the political party governance and the way political parties themselves are the same. What we need is an independent candidate. Somebody whose loyalty is Ghana first, Ghana last, Ghana always, not to their political party. So that if their political party, Aparachik, is funding the party and is buying everything and everything in the region, they will say that at this present time, we don't know him to be.
How do you intend to fight Galamsey? Because it's a concern and we need to fight it as soon as possible.
I mean, one of the ways, apart from, yes, educating the communities on the long-term effects, is to enable the communities themselves to come up with unique solutions to how they can fight it without collapsing the economy of that community.
Okay.
Because that is important. The important thing is that you see, nature abhors a vacuum. You cannot immediately just go in. We can go and do shoot to kill and all those things which have been done in other countries. You understand? But the thing is that when people are poor and don't see a future or something ahead of them, they will resort to all sorts of actions. And we see that in some of the communities where maybe farmers and etc. have given their lamp out, you know, and say that, okay, let's do galamsey and things like that. We need to find that kind of unique, tailor-made what you call it, community to do it. Yes, government will do the big things. Government may send in the what you call it, may have a plan in terms of mining commission, how to do, and all those. I can mention what the GTP of the Alan Chamantin is. It's also beautiful, but important thing is the community active engagement in not in making them also become miners, but in moving them away and giving them economic viability such that mining is not the thing for them to do.
Nanaya, so at this point, the minister says he's fighting this. There are also those who are calling for him to be sanctioned and sacked. What do you say?
I agree he should be sacked. He has failed woefully. Because you see, this galamsey thing we've been talking about, it, whatever they have put in place has not worked. And Bella, if you have an intervention to deal with a menace and it is not working, it means that there's lack of commitment. Because if the government and the minister and all other people around are doing what they have to do with commitment, it wouldn't have happened. What we are going through, because you see, I even believe that we should stop every mining activity in the country. We should halt.
Every mining activity, whether small scale or large scale?
Yes, we should halt and have a total overview of everything that is going on. We should halt. We should halt on giving licenses. We should halt and have a holistic investigation into what is going on. For instance, you told us that the Konongo one, they said that they were going to do feasibility study for legal small-scale mining. By the time we realized, that people realized they were mining. Do you understand? So if we stop giving these licenses, we put a hold on mining for now and take a holistic view of everything that is going on. At least it will be able to enable us what the real situation is. Bella, I am telling you something. Everything that we are talking about is ad hoc. We don't even have the exact data of the enormity of the situation at hand. Bella, it is there. It is there. The gold areas are in serious trouble. And these areas are some of the food baskets of this nation. So you can imagine what we are going through. Right now, we might not see the impact of what is going on. The MPP is in government. Me, you see, I don't like this thing where you have been given a responsibility. Instead of doing what is right, you decide to always talk about what happened. They go away and talk about Kwame Nkrumah. Today, you are in power. You have been given a responsibility to do what you have to do, to make sure that one of the menaces that is facing this nation is dealt with. But Bella, you are not doing it. And anytime we open our mouth, you then run quickly to other people. And say, even in was Galamsey, in this time there was Galam, this time. But you are in power. We have employed you to do a job for us. You have failed in doing the job. And now you are shifting blame. Bella, how is that?
Is that what they're doing, or they're asking the NDC to also be fair in the statements they make? Because if they've also been fingered in the Galamsey activities, then why are they pointing fingers at the NPP?
If somebody points fingers at somebody and the person is not there, why don't you deal with the person? If you know truly that the person too is responsible, why don't you deal with the person? Bella, I'm asking you.
That's for them to answer.
Yes, because you see, you are also doing it. So the fact that somebody did it, it means that, I mean, you should also do it. Because everything that they do wrong, either they use the constitution or they point to the NDC too did it. So then why did we sack them then? Why did we say in 2016 we don't want them? If you have a wife whose soup is full of pepper and you cannot stand the pepper, and you sack that wife, and you bring another one, and this one is salt and pepper, then why did you sack the other one? Then you should bring the other one back. I mean, truly speaking, I do not get it. Because you see, the nicest thing anybody can do is to accept blame and say that I will do something about it. To accept blame and look at the plight of Ghanaians. Bella, you see, maybe they want all of us to die because they have done data and realized that there is 1 billion ounces of gold out there, $10 trillion. So if we all die, and they can import water, so if we all die, then they will take the gold.
That's you say maybe. So I don't want to believe that they'll be that evil to want everyone to die.
No, but Bella, if they are not, we are dying slowly. Do you know what is in your body right now?
I don't.
You don't. I don't know what is in my body right now. Unless I go to the hospital, I do not know. And some of these things that come up, it comes up suddenly.
Yeah.
Tomorrow somebody's liver, tomorrow somebody's kidney, tomorrow this, tomorrow that. What is happening? And it is happening to the younger people. Go to the dialysis centers around the country. Look at the features you've been doing on dialysis. Ever since did we have people as young as 21, people as 18, 19. Getting kidney disease.
We're told that it can even stay in your body for 20 years, the poison.
Yes.
It attacks your brain first.
Yes.
Yesterday we spoke to a toxicologist.
Your brain
it goes straight to your brain before it now seeps down into your liver and kidney.
Yes, and by the time you realize you're a vegetable, should we get to that point, Bella?
We probably have gotten to that point
if they don't want us, if they don't want to take over this country, because for them, all they know about their party breaking the 8, that is all. That is why Bawumia will tell us that he has the ideas, but he's not going to implement it now. But that is why he's saying that. If they really thought about us, if they really think that we are people that are worth anything, me, I'm saying that come 2024, 7 December, Ghana, please, we should behave like UK. The way they threw out the Conservative Party, we should go out in our numbers to go and vote, just with the mindset that we are liberating Ghana. Not because we are bringing any party in power, but we are just liberating our country. I always say that this vote on 7 December, 93 days away, it is for a second independence of this nation. And we need to do it with a concerted effort, with God on our mind, with Ghana in our heart, saying that we are going to vote against these people because they do not care, they don't mind. All they know is about themselves.
Well, Susan says vote against the two parties. So is that what you're also saying?
Me, I'm saying go and vote against them. They are in power.
Okay.
So go and vote against them. Me, anybody competing, my party is competing, everybody is competing. But as long as it is, vote against the MPP.
All right. Well, let me bring in, but quickly before that, good morning to Kojo Chumbafo. He says that, good morning, Akora, with all due respect to my dear sister Susan, the issues that fuel Galamsey require strong legislative action that will make it very unpalatable to engage in illegal mining. The punishment needs to be harsh and render the activity a clear and present danger to those who engage in it. How does an independent candidate garner the buy-in of the two major parties who will inevitably command the majority of parliamentary seats? I'll come to you so you can respond to that. Don't worry, I just wanted to read this before I lose it. But Nache, so again, not to play politics with this, but how do you also justify some candidates who have gone to some of these villages and encourage the people within those communities to vote against this party and vote for your party so that when they come, they can allow them to still continue engaging in Galamsey?
So you see, we would vote against the NPP because in the case that Nana says, you have a wife that cooks soup and the pepper is too much. Now you get another one that adds pepper and salt. In the case of the NPP, they are the wife that has pepper spray. So the pepper is not only in the food; they spray the pepper in your face. You see, the people in the Galamsey areas will vote against the NPP because they staged the fight against Galamsey. They bent excavators, they seized people's concessions, and then they appropriated those concessions to themselves because party here Sika. And today, Tabitha will sit here and say that let us not politicize. Did we hear in the video that Ghana here Sika? It is the NPP party that needed the money,
Please,
and not Ghana. So it is not about not politicizing. Please. The NPP has shown the way that when it comes to Galamsey, let politicize because party here Sika. And then she went on to say that President Mahama says he would give amnesty to those who are in prison. And we have established here, and I repeat, maybe she didn't hear, that the kingpins of Galamsey have been noted to be people of the NPP.
Not only them.
And that's what I'm saying. If they have the evidence that there are persons in the NDC who are also engaged in illegal mining, take them to court, put them to prison. Then we say that, of course, you have the chest and the rib to fight Galamsey. Did I hear somebody also mention Operation Vanguard? Please, there is a joy news story. The legal advisor to the Operation Vanguard team said that when they were put together, no laws were governing them. In the fight against Galamsey, Bella, this government has not only been wasteful, they've been self-enriching. They've been wasteful, they've been self-enriching, and they've put every life of Ghanaian, including the unborn children, on the line. Now, let me also say...
I don't know if you've responded to my question about some of your parliamentary candidates.
You were asking. I've answered you. I'm saying that...
How do you justify that as well? Because whichever way you look at it, it's completely wrong to encourage people
Bella,
to vote for a party so that you can encourage them or you can allow them to continue doing Galamsey.
No, what we are saying is that as a party, those who have been put to jail are not the culprits that we are establishing. And we are saying again that the Galamsey communities will vote against the NPP because they staged the fights, they seized the concession and the equipment, and they appropriated to themselves. And so I'm answering your question, that the justification is that you can't come and stage a fight.
So we should encourage the locals to still engage in Galamsey?
So let me tell you what President John Dramani Mahama has said that he will do about Galamsey. And on that note, I brought a copy for everybody on this table. Yes, in fact, so that you read with me. What we are saying is that, Bella, stay with me. We are placing a ban on new mining activities in forest reserve. The law that the NPP, the LI that they passed to give the president the power to give people permission to mine in forest reserve, we are banning it. We are banning the...
Sorry, I don't have time. That's why I told you that we cannot go through the whole thing.
I was here when you engaged everybody. The timing this morning.
I'm so sorry about that. Fine. We don't have time. But if you bring the whole letter, don't worry. We'll read it off air. But
it is not about the reading. So you asked what our party was doing different. You asked Susan, and so you should allow me to tell you what my party is doing different.
And then I use mine to.
Okay, hold on.
So allow me to tell you what we are doing.
I'll give 30 seconds. You go to what it is that you say. Okay, 30 seconds.
So what we are saying is that.
Summarize.
We are placing a ban on new mining activities in forest reserve.
That's key.
We are amending the mineral and mining laws to impose stiffer punishment on mining on water bodies to the extent that we are upgrading this to a second-degree felony that amounts to crime, it amounts to murder.
Okay.
This stiffer punishment will deter people from mining in our water bodies. And to say that we'll reclaim the lands with and the NDC, the water was better. And we are reclaiming the lands, the water will return to even better situations than we left it.
But even if we try, it will take a long period for the water to, you know, be restored back to its original state. And so I've seen a comment from someone who says that maybe we should even ban mining for 50 years.
To ban it.
But Tabitha,
Yes.
I mean,
you know,
what are your thoughts?
It's interesting how my sister is so confident about her government. A government that doesn't have any
Even your government,
Hold
you are
on.
confident
Please,
about
okay.
it. No,
Please,
even her government,
allow her to talk.
she is confident.
When you were talking, she didn't
Even her
interject.
government,
Please,
she is proud of
please,
it.
let's respect ourselves and allow her to
You know,
speak. I beg you.
I will always quote this on every platform because it is good we know that we have to always start from the known to the unknown. What we know about the NDC when it comes to Galamsey is nothing to write home about. You don't have a good track record that we, the MPP, should even look at you. We have been the only government in the history of Ghana to have fought Galamsey with everything that we have. Yes, listen.
Please don't go there.
It is a fact.
Please allow her.
It is a fact.
Please allow her to
All the measures.
No, please allow her
You
to
know
make
what?
her point. Then
Please, we are ladies on this platform. When someone is on the floor, let's respect ourselves and allow the person to have his or her time.
don't worry, everyone is quiet. Please
Yes.
speak.
Now, what I'm trying to say is this. We are the only government that has actually fought Galamsey. And you cannot tell me that there's any other government that has fought Galamsey more than we have. We decided to use the force didn't help us. The voice of the people is that we want to mine. That is the voice of the people.
Which
yes,
people?
Yes.
Which people exactly?
I already indicated that communities that voted against us, you know, of course, after every elections, you will have to go back and count your losses. Try to find out what was the problem. We did our investigation and we realized that the people actually want to mine. But you see...
But is it about what the people want
Bella,
or it's about what will benefit
listen,
all of us and protect
Bella,
all of us?
That is why I'm saying that the force has not helped us. We have used force. It hasn't helped us. Now the MPP under Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and we all know Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a vice president. He doesn't have the power to do what you suggested earlier. He doesn't have it.
What did I suggest?
You suggested that why is it that he's not fighting Galamsey right now? Why is he not implementing the measures that is in his manifesto? You told me earlier. Maybe
I said,
you've
why
forgotten.
why don't you let him speak to the president? This is my plan.
You have to
Let's fight it
So
now.
you see,
please,
Bella,
Nanaya,
Bella,
please.
listen. It is you can talk to the president, but it is up to the president to either take it or not. So please, this one is not something that we should be discussing.
So we should wait for him to become president.
Not that we should wait. You should know better.
You should know better?
No, like I mean,
Ghanaians or me?
I know you, Bella. You should know better that you cannot
I should
dictate.
know better.
Yes, you can dictate to your general manager, true or false.
I'm sorry.
No.
But if people in the company are dying, I don't think my general manager will wait for me to become a general manager 5 years later to help these people.
Bella,
if you see them dying now, you help them now.
That is why I said that you should know better that you can't dictate to your GM.
But I've just given you a scenario.
No, it is just something
my
I'm
GM
saying.
will listen to me if people are dying.
Good.
And he or she will implement whatever plans there are.
In the person
so that
of the
we
president.
can
That's why
restore
I told you
life.
that. With the force that he has used so far, it is not yielding the results that we all want, true or false. The force he has used has not helped all of us. We are all saying that it hasn't yielded the results we want. That
Did
is
you have
why.
the will?
Pardon?
Did you have the will?
Yeah.
To fight this?
Yes, we had the
will. Or you
will.
just looked like you were fighting, but in actual fact you were enabling.
Actually fighting. You even indicated that security personnel that were even asked to go and fight Galamsey were they aiding Galamsey, true or false? You said it on this platform.
Plan for me.
Now, let me wrap up. I want to wrap up by telling Ghanaians that, look, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has realized that it is increasingly difficult to fight the people because of Galamsey. So what he intends to do is this. He says that he will ensure that EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, is decentralized. And what they do is that, you know, they will be mandated to ensure that people do it the right way.
Okay.
That is one. Two, he is is saying that
please.
he is going to make available funds so that people can buy the gold cutter machine. And we all know what the gold cutter machine is. It is environmentally friendly and doesn't use mercury that can destroy our forest
That's
areas.
if Ghanaians will vote for him, because I think that, no, don't worry, let me go to Susan, because Ghanaians are also watching.
Let me answer the question that Mr. Chumboafo said. Look, there are already existing laws against galamsey. This is about EPA now going to be decentralized. The only problem why EPA is not in the places that it is because the government has put a ban on employment, and EPA is static in Accra. That's why they cannot go into the what do you call it, into the places. But any mining company who wants to mine must have an EPA evaluation before they start. It is not now that you are coming to tell us that EPA is going to go and do this. This is the job that EPA does already. I've said that the laws that are there already and that need to be enforced, the political will to do them. So it's not now that an independent candidate is now coming to enact laws. The laws that are there need to be made to work. Minerals Commission was already gathering the illegal miners and trying to train them to move them away from mercury. They actually even used to suck the mercury out and spit it out. And these were things that they did many years ago, that the Minerals Commission had educational programs to do that. Even tried to bring them together to form little cooperatives. This is nothing new. You understand? What we are talking about is the political will to do it. I mean, coming again to an independent candidate like Mr. Alan Chiamantin, and you saying, Mr. Alan Chiamantin is come to test the patriotism of Ghanaians, and especially of our MPs, that when he comes to you and says, I have identified that you have this particular skill, so come and let us, work to the service of the people. And you say that no, because you're not in my party, so I won't work. We are going to actually see the patriotism of our MPs and the people that are in this country. Look, we have come to a place where it is party, and my party, and my party, and my party, because we were fighting galamsey, we lost in these places, and so we sat back. It's about time we moved on. Ghanaians, look, they need to take courage and say that we are not going to make a decision between any of these two. We are making a change out of a life and death situation. We've seen what these two parties can offer us. We said we will vote independent and we will vote Alan Chiamantin. I think that we as a people just need to find our audaciousness in terms of a protest vote against the way we have been treated by these two parties,
Susan.
West and Western. And this is how the two of them, we can choose to say who is the worst of the two of them. But they're just bad for us as a people.
All right. Susan Eduma Amankwa is a member of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Nanaya Chimpim-Jantwa is the former General Secretary for the CPP. And also Tabitha Ayila Apengyene. I hope I got it right again.
Very correct.
NPP Communications Team member. Na Ache Niokwe is the communications team member for the NDC. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. I know Nanaya is not too happy with me, so I'm going to chop. Hold on. Please, let me read. Step into the world, I beg you. Step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win big with Dewa Direct and Dewa Chop Money. With Dewa Direct, dial *446#, pick 1 to 33, and win 20 times, 40 times, or 400 times your stake. And win cash every evening at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Early birds love Dewa, so make sure that at 10 a.m. you dial *446#, choose 1 to 39, and win 20 times, 40 times, or 400 times your stake. Play at dewa-nla.com or dial *446#. And also, if you need help, call them now on 05562 59249 or 053-247-9879. Ladies, thank you for joining me. I apologize if any of you are happy. We'll be back with you.
You have to put a timer on the room.